Is January 5th, 2026. At this time, I'd like to ask the Reverend Sherry Wheeler to come forward and give us an invocation. Welcome this morning,
Thank
Reverend.
you. Happy New Year. Let us join our hearts together in prayer. Gracious God, we come before you with thanksgiving for new beginnings, a new year. As we seek to follow the light you provide, may we go forward in faith. As we move closer to our 250th anniversary as a nation, we are thankful for your divine providence that guided our founding leaders. May you continue to inspire and guide our national leadership in 2026. Closer to home, we ask that you guide the employees who keep Dare County functioning. For those who serve on the numerous boards or who will be appointed today, order their thoughts and actions. For our commissioners, continue to work in and through them for all those who live, work, and play in the OBX. Thank you for those who have served this county for many years and continue to bring excellence in all they do. Thank you for those who competed for Employee of the Month, each one excelling in their departments, representing our county well. Finally, oh God, we are thankful that our military and law enforcement officers who were part of the action in Venezuela were protected from harm's way. As the Venezuelan citizens realize they can now write a new future for their country, we ask that you order their steps as they return to a democracy and a place of freedom, something that has been lacking for a generation. We move into 2026 with hope for a future we all can celebrate. In Thanksgiving this day we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Wheeler. May we stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
County Manager.
Happy New Year, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. First on the agenda is the chairman's opening remarks.
Thank you, County Manager. Thank you all for your patience this morning. We're running a little bit behind because of some technical difficulties, but I think we got them worked out now. I'd like to recognize the chair of the Dare County Board of Education, Mr. David Twitty's here with us this morning. David, thank you for being here. As you all know, I like to start with a little humor. So I'll tell you about a friend of mine. Ever since he was a child, he always had a fear of something underneath his bed at nighttime. So he went to a local psychiatrist and told him, he said, Doc, he said, I got a problem. Every time I go to bed, I think there's somebody underneath it. I'm scared. I think I'm going crazy. Just put yourself in my hands for 1 year, the doctor said. Come talk to me 3 times a week, and we should be able to get rid of these fears. So reluctantly, my friend said, well, how much do you charge? He said, well, it's $80 a visit. He said, let me sleep on it, and if I need to, I'll get back to you. Well, it's about 6 months later, and the psychiatrist met him on the street one day and said, why didn't you come to see me about the fears you were having? He said, well, doctor, be honest with you, $80 a visit 3 times a week for a year is an awful lot of money. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, a bartender cured me for $10. He said, I was so happy to have saved all that money that I went out and bought myself a SUV. The psychiatrist said, in a little bit of an attitude, he said, well, how in the world, if you don't mind, did a bartender cure you for $10? He said, he told me to cut the legs off the bed.
Actually, I like that, Mr. Chairman, I like that.
I don't make them up, I just tell them. Mark your calendars for the 35th local Martin Luther King celebration this year. It'll be held on Saturday, January the 17th at 11 a.m. At the Roanoke Island Presbyterian Church right here in Manteo. This year's program is going to be a musical extravaganza with performances by, and I know most of you know this group, they've been here a long, long time, Echoes of Heritage, and the Incentian Music Academy. So this event's open to the public, and they will have light refreshments will be served after that event. So mark your calendars for January the 17th at 11 a.m. Saturday. Also, mark your calendars. I'm working, we've been working for about a month now, myself and Public Information Office, Ms. Hester, on the annual State of the County Address. This year, it will be held on March the 18th, and that's a Wednesday morning. We'll be notifying getting something out very soon about that so you can register. And once again, it'll be held at Captain George's Restaurant. I believe we start at 8 a.m., Dorothy? Yeah. So.
Tickets will be on sale the first Monday of February.
Yeah.
About a month away.
Yeah, and tickets are cheap, folks, and it sells out quick. It's like $10. So I always enjoy doing that, and I have a fiduciary responsibility to, I feel personally, to do a State of the County and share that with the public annually. The next thing I have this morning, it's honor to recognize our Manteo High School soccer team. 20-4, I believe, and they have topped the season off, culminating in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association's 2A state championship. What a great accomplishment from this soccer team. I want to also recognize Chad Lurie, who's the AD at Manteo, and certainly, last but not least, the coach, Ralph Cleaver. I'd like to come down and make a presentation to you guys, if you don't mind, so I'll head down front. Come on up, guys. This is a certificate of appreciation from the Dare County Board of Commissioners to the Manteo High School men's soccer team, and it says, in recognition of their outstanding achievement in winning the 2025 North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2A State Championship on Friday, November the 21st, 2025. The skill, determination, and teamwork demonstrated through a remarkable 20-4 season culminated in the championship victory, exemplifying the high standards of sportsmanship and bringing incredible sense of pride to Manteo High School and the entire Dare County community. And it's signed by myself as chairman of the Dare County Board of Commissioners. And our Board of Commissioners extend our grateful recognition for your accomplishments in Manteo High School. So keep up the good work. We got any seniors in the crowd? Well, we still got half the team in, so y'all got to bring it back again next year. So, Coach, Commissioners, AD, guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I think she wants us to stand up and wave. Congratulations. Oh, yeah.
It's quite an accomplishment for our young men. It's always great to recognize their accomplishments, and we appreciate y'all being here this morning. I have one last thing that I'd like to share with you before we move on, and this is really personal to me, sad, but the Octavio family, who is a long-time business owner family in our community and residents here for many, many, many years. Had a personal relationship with them for over 30 years. Just recently lost their son Matthew at age 43 years of age. I'd like to extend once again my condolences to the Octavio family, and if you'll keep them in your thoughts and prayers during this most difficult time. At this time, I'd just like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. County Manager?
So, Mr. Chairman, that brings us to item 2 on the agenda, and this is the presentation of our service pins. We have 50 years of service, I think, represented this morning. First on the list is Michelle Salter, here to receive a 10-year pin from Jenny Collins.
Good morning and welcome, ladies.
Good morning, Happy New Year. So I'd like to introduce Gina Michelle Salter to you. Michelle, when she started out in EMS, she wanted to get into healthcare, and she needed to do a career change to do that. And her avenue for that was to go to night school, and went to EMT school because she was working during the day. And she did that, and following that, she started part-time with Dairy EMS in 2015 and transitioned to full-time in 2016. Not being settled just to be an EMT, she continued to advance her career, becoming an advanced EMT later in 2016, and we had to push her a little bit, but she wanted to get to that paramedic level. She did that in 2019. Was proud to promote her in 2023. She's a shift supervisor, staffing one of our quick response vehicles, our QRV. And she, not being idle, this is one person you will not find sitting still through the station. In fact, I think she was just painting the interior walls down at Station 3 pretty much by herself because they looked dingy, and she wanted to freshen them up. And but during COVID, she went and got her associate's degree from COA. And then, not being settled with that, she rolled right into Western Carolina University, and she graduated May of 25 with her bachelor's in emergency medical care. So she is not an idle person. She lives on Hatteras Island. She's been there since '92. She's married. Her husband is with her today in the audience. He's a Navy veteran and a retired captain from the Ferry Division also. And she has one son that works with UPS. So, Michelle, thank you very much for 10 years and many, many more to come, right?
Next, if Josh McKinney would come forward to receive his 10-year pin.
Y'all are going to hear me a few times today. Josh. This is Lieutenant Josh McKinney. He started off, as many of EMS folks do, in ocean rescue. And so he was ocean rescue with KDH, and he would come here on summer breaks from college, and he would lifeguard with them, which started him into liking EMS with the interactions with ocean rescue. And he took an EMT class. And after college graduation, his wife, who grew up on the Outer Banks, he moved to Dare County full-time, and he joined Dare County EMS. Again, he also continued to advance his certification, getting his advanced EMT, and then on to paramedics. And he was with the county for 7 years, and then him and his wife had a different calling, that they went into the foreign mission field and moved to India for 4 years and did mission work. After those 4 years, he came back to Dare County, wanted back with Dare County EMS, and so part-time again in 2015, and then rejoined full-time ranks in 2016. So while this is a 10-year pin, he has 17 years total service with us in the county. He was on med flight for 4 years as a flight paramedic. He was promoted to lieutenant in 2021. He's also a shift supervisor on a QRV. But currently we have him detailed over. He is a lead instructor for the paramedic academy that we have going on in partnership with COA. And this is the second time that we've run this paramedic academy, and the second time that Josh has been the lead instructor there. So Josh, the interesting thing with Josh, he wants to field his own sports team. He has 6 kids, and they're all great. They often show up to department functions. But thank you very much for what is 17 years with you, but 10 years on this pin.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, if Philip Merrill would come forward to receive his 15-year pin.
This is EMS day.
It is. Lots of experience. So this is EMT Philip Merrill. He was actually born in Portsmouth, Virginia, but his family always owned a house down here in the Outer Banks. And when he turned 18, coming from a family of public safety where they were all firefighters, though, he decided that that was his calling, too, into public safety. So he started out as a volunteer firefighter, and then he goes, hey, this EMS stuff is kind of fun, and that's a lot of the calls that we run. And so he took that progression and went to EMT school, and that he really liked the feeling of helping the sick and the injured. He started riding along with Dare EMS, and then he transitioned to full-time employment with us as an EMT. Philip's one of those folks, whenever we have an open house or even when he's running calls, he loves to engage with the public, especially the kids, because he understands how intimidating healthcare can be and people in uniforms. And so he takes that extra step to put himself into their shoes, being nervous and anxious, and really works to make sure that they are feeling comfortable with others. He is one that loves to have students ride along with us because he likes to share that information with them and make them understand, why we do some of the things that we do. And he's always doing it with a lot of positivity. Philip is also married, and he has 2 kids. And so, Philip, for 15 years of service, thank you very, very much, and lots more.
Next, if Paula Rodriguez would come forward to receive her 15-year pin from Stephanie Wright.
Welcome this morning, ladies.
Good morning. Happy New Year. Okay, so sorry, it's my first time doing this. I'm a little nervous. I've been with the agency for a short time, but in that time, I've witnessed your dedication, your commitment, and your professionalism, and to the people that we serve in our community. And I'm extremely grateful to work alongside you. Paula's been with the agency for 15 years. She's well versed in a lot of programs, which I'm grateful for as well. And we just want to congratulate you. I know this is a big accomplishment for you, and I know you said you had 2 5 years and a 10-year. Is that what you said? So I just want to say how grateful for you we are, and congratulations on your 15 years.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have 2 Employee of the Month presentations. First is our December Employee of the Month, and that'll be presented by Chuck Lysette.
Welcome this morning, Chuck.
Morning, Chairman Woodard, Commissioners. Didn't make the print big enough today. Laura Kistler Brown is an in-home social worker in the Child Protective Services Unit at Social Services. In the life of a Child Protective Services case, Laura works with families following the finding of abuse or neglect, and there are moderate or high risk to the safety and well-being of children in the home. Through regular contact with the family, sometimes weekly, Laura is challenged keeping children safely in their home by strengthening families, focusing on safety, support, and nurturing, and connecting the family to community resources. By reducing the risk of harm, Laura works with the family to prevent the children from being placed into foster care. Families are not static, they are dynamic. Continual progress for several weeks can be derailed by a new crisis. What you and I perceive as minor is often a huge impact for families. Managing a caseload of a few families, each with their own dynamics and crises, can be overwhelming. For over a year, Laura has been our only in-home social worker, managing the work of 2 social workers. This is no small task. In addition to meeting with families in their homes, ensuring the family is addressing the well-being needs of the children, and following up with therapists and providers regarding the family's progress, Laura is required to complete state-mandated paperwork within specified timelines. Laura is warm and understanding and makes parents feel comfortable. The service Laura provides is not a voluntary one. However, the families she works with come to appreciate the care and concern she has for their family. She finds commonalities that allow parents to feel at ease, and she is always open and honest, even when the message may be hard to hear. Laura meets with families before and after business hours and on weekends. It's not unusual for her to meet a parent at 7:30 p.m. or on a Sunday afternoon. She juggles working late hours with meeting the needs of her own family, which includes a teen in high school. Her innate ability to make connections with people extends beyond the families with whom she works. She also connects with her colleagues, taking time to check in with them to see how they are doing. She has been a great fit to a unit who works together to care for our families. I will share 2 examples of Laura's work. At one home visit, Laura accompanied another social worker and met a temporary roommate and her newborn who was staying with the family that social services was providing services to. Laura became the baby whisperer and was able to share techniques with the new mother on how to hold and soothe the baby who was experiencing colic. Laura not only forged a positive relationship with the family that was the focus of the home visit, but she demonstrated kindness and empathy to another young mother with whom she crossed paths with. In another example on how Laura cares and connects, a child on her caseload had never been to summer camp. The camp took pictures of the child and shared them with Laura, who made the scrapbook for his camp pictures. Laura represents Dare County well. Please join me in congratulating Dare County's December Employee of the Month, Laura Kistler Brown.
Yeah.
Hang on, Chuck. Chuck. Laura, I read Dr. Davies' reports, and not to slight any of our county employees, but what I just heard and what I've read in the reports, thank you so very much for what you do. It is truly an amazing job, so thank you.
Next, we have our January Employee of the Month, and if Jenny Collins would come forward for that presentation.
I promise I think this is the last time. Well, we had I mentioned when I gave Josh his service pin that the Paramedic Academy students were here, but they're also here for another reason, and this person doesn't know that I'm about ready to call their name. But Shay, Britt, would you please come up? Boy, what a pretty color of red she's got. This is Kristen Shea Britt. Her father also worked for EMS, Chuck Early, who's a retired lieutenant with us. But let me talk a little bit about Shay. And this is absolutely making her cringe because Shay likes to just blend into the wallpaper. But we hired her full-time as an EMT in April of 2017. She became an advanced EMT in 2019. And we did some pushing because we knew that she had it in her, but she is currently enrolled in the Paramedic Academy, which they are expected to graduate in April of this year. She was nominated for, one, her initiative and dedication and selfless service. She is always that quiet person in the background, but wants to do everything to make the department and the county successful. She loves working again with new hires, students, colleagues. She readily shares information and hands-on training, and she's one of the most positive folks. And she's just pleasant to be around, and so she just attracts people wanting to work with her. Her contributions in both orientations, continuing education events, because she does come in and teaches some of our labs and our CE events, and our open houses. In fact, last year, open house, many of you stopped by, and one of the stations was this huge teddy bear, and she termed it Boo Boo Bear, that she had pried away from her kids, and the kids coming through the open house could bandage Boo Boo Bear and learn about first aid and things like that. Friendsgiving, which is one of the events that we do internally, she had organized a pumpkin painting thing with her colleagues. She went to a career fair at First Flight High School when she had on her own made this frequently asked questions about jobs in EMS and things, and she was handing those out to the students. And she just does everything, and we see her at Kids Fest and Dare Day and all the type special events. But being that extra special person where she's always helping, she's one of our field training officers for EMT, preceptor for the schools, and that enthusiasm and proactivity is always on display. She's one of those ones that I get a lot of thank you cards from customers, patients of the service, and Shay's one of those folks that gets pulled out by name a lot of times in these thank you notes because she makes that much of an impact on people. Well, one of the things that I'm going to talk about was something she was off duty for. It's one thing to expect to provide aid to people when you're on duty, but when you're off duty in a restaurant, trying to have a meal with your family, and ears pick up something, commotion going on behind her, and she turned around, and in the booth sitting behind them was an 18-month-old that was barely conscious, turning blue and not breathing, and was choking on food. So without hesitation, she got up, she told the family member to call 911, and she began life-saving care on the 18-month-old. She performed back blows and abdominal thrust, and the baby went totally unconscious, and that changes how you start to provide what you commonly known as the Heimlich maneuver, but it increased chest compressions when the child is unresponsive. Her rapid and skilled response dislodged the airway obstruction, allowing the child to resume breathing, gradually regain consciousness, and before the arrival of the on-duty ambulance, the child was conscious, pinked up again, and alive because of what Shay did and that selfless act. She stayed calm, was very decisive, and prevented a tragic outcome. Shay is a proud wife and mother, as she's a role model to her peers and an advocate for anybody needing anything, and we are certainly proud of her. So Shay, for everything that you do, I am happy to present this for January 2026 Employee of the Month for you.
Proud of you. You give her a sign. Granddad. Right here. Right here. Right good. Thank you.
Before we go to public comment, those of you that received an award this morning, please go right out through this door so Caitlin can get a picture. We'll wait a second for the room to clear. Comment this morning and you've not signed up, raise your hand and I'll recognize you. When I do, please come to the podium, state your name and where you're from. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. There's a green light on the podium that'll come on when your time begins. There's a yellow light on the podium that'll come on when you have about a minute left. And when the red light comes on, please conclude your remarks. I do not have any sign-ups. Is there anyone like to speak at public comment this morning? I see no hands here. Is there anyone in Buxton that would like to speak at public comment?
No comment from Buxton.
With that, Mr. Chairman, we close the public comment and we'd move on to item 5 in the agenda. This is an update from the America 250 Committee, and I'll turn that over to Dorothy.
Welcome this morning, Dorothy.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Happy New Year to each of you. As we begin 2026, the Dare County America 250 initiative will move from planning to implementation. You all established the local committee in November of 2024, so we've been working, meeting monthly to get things ready, and we're now in the official year of this milestone year, where we'll commemorate the 250th anniversary of our nation while highlighting Dare County's unique role in America's history. So to start off, I'd like to show y'all a video that just was recently released.
In 2026, America will celebrate a remarkable milestone. 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Communities across the country are reflecting on our shared past, honoring freedom, democracy, and opportunity, and exploring how the journey that began in 1776 continues to shape our lives today. Here in Dare County, the land of beginnings, our story is woven deeply into the American experience. From the first English settlement to the birthplace of powered flight, Dare County is known for iconic firsts, and our region and its people are defined by the exploration, innovation, and resilience. To help our community stay connected throughout the A250 celebration, Dare County has launched a dedicated website, darea250.org. Here, you'll find everything you need to know about America's 250th celebrations in Dare County, including an overview of our A250 initiative, a growing calendar of A250-themed events, stories featuring key people and places that have shaped Dare County's history, and a variety of ways you can participate. You can also sign up for the monthly A250 newsletter, where we'll share important updates, engaging stories, and various opportunities to get involved.
Dare County's role as the land of the beginnings makes the 250th anniversary celebrations especially meaningful. Our region is home to centuries of remarkable stories, from early coastal explorers who landed on Roanoke Island in the 16th century, to the heroic crews of the Chickamauga Life-Saving Station, to the Wright brothers who achieved the first powered flight and forever changed the course of history. As part of the A250 initiative, we're launching the A250 Passport Program to help residents and visitors explore our county's unique history firsthand. The Passport features an assortment of stops across Dare County, including museums, historic sites, cultural centers, and natural landmarks. Participants can collect a stamp and learn something new at every stop, while also discovering more about the people and places that have shaped our area. Historic highlights are also available online at darea250.org/passport, where we'll share stories of the people by the sea.
The A250 celebration will span the entire year, and organizations throughout Dare County are planning a full lineup of themed events, from festivals and educational programs to commemorative activities and community gatherings. The Kelly St. Patrick's Parade in March will kick off Dare County's A250 celebrations, bringing the community together in a spirited, family-friendly tradition. The excitement continues in April with Dare County's A250 Fair, which is themed Life, Liberty, and Liftoff in the Land of Beginnings, and is designed to be an engaging community celebration for residents and visitors of all ages. If your organization or group is planning a race, festival, exhibit, parade, performance, or other event that celebrates our nation's history and heritage, you can submit it at darea250.org/events to be included in our official A250 event calendar. Volunteers will also play a huge role in Dare County's A250 celebrations, whether it's sharing local history, supporting key events, or helping out behind the scenes. There are many ways for members of the community to get involved. Together, we can make 2026 a celebration that reflects the heart of Dare County. Learn more about all these opportunities at darea250.org/volunteer.
In 2026, Dare County schools will join the A250 effort with a variety of educational programs and activities designed to help students connect with this moment in our nation's history. Our teachers are preparing A250 themed lessons, special projects, and creative learning experiences, highlighting both national events and local history. We're also exploring opportunities for student contests, classroom grants, and partnerships that bring history to life in meaningful ways. We look forward to sharing more with families as details are finalized.
Dare County is proud to be a part of America's story. As we prepare for the semi-quincentennial in 2026, we invite you to join us in celebrating our history, heritage, and the enduring spirit of freedom that continues to define and move our community forward.
Nice video, isn't it?
Yes, very nice.
Gets you excited.
Caitlin, nice job on the narration. Good stuff.
To all of the folks that were in the video, they did a great job. I'm going to introduce some of the committee members that are here today because I cannot say enough about the group that we have working together to pull this together for the community. So we're going to try to keep this brief today. You're going to hear from members of each of our subcommittees to provide a snapshot of the progress that's been made and what's ahead. Before I do that, I think I'll go ahead and ask those who are here that are part of our committee to stand. Brenda, who's down on the end, is the co-chair. She's with Daughters of the American Revolution. And she's also chairing the Children and Youth Subcommittee. Cole and Sue are also with Daughters of the American Revolution. You probably know Kristen Stilson, who's our GIS coordinator, Jeff Swartzenberg from the Visitors Bureau, Tammy Woodward from the History Center, Austin Paul with Jockeys Ridge State Park, Carrie Boyce back there in red, who's the interim director of Roanoke Island Festival Park. Lauren, I didn't forget you, from the town of Kitty Hawk. And Megan, of course, our librarian, our county librarian. This isn't everyone who's serving, but a lot of these people are key players in the work that's getting done. And all of the towns have representatives, and we have a number of other organizations. So while a lot of people think this is Dare County's initiative, we did put together the committee, but there is a wide representation of the community involved. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask the subcommittees to come forward, and first will be our history subcommittee that's led by Tammy Woodward.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Tammy Woodward. I'm with the Outer Banks History Center here in Manio. We're the eastern branch of the State Archives. First, I'd like to recognize my fellow history subcommittee members, if I may. Brian Edwards, who is not here, is from College of the Albemarle. Also, Lad Bayless, who is the director of Island Farm. She could not be with us today. But with me today is Austin Paul from Jockeys Ridge State Park, and Megan Beasley from the Dare County Libraries. And then also Kristen, oh, you're behind me now. She's going to help me present for the History Subcommittee. She's with Dare County GIS. So our first order of business for the History Subcommittee was to create a timeline of Dare County history going back to, as far as the records go, the 16th century. So we researched and formulated this document over the beginning of 2025. And then from that document, we pulled 28 historic sites, mostly that because they still exist. A lot of the history timeline, those sites no longer exist. So we've picked 28 key sites that we could then plot on a map. With those 28 sites, we sourced imagery and wrote historical narratives, tried to be as short as possible so that they could fit on the map. And both the subcommittee members in the history subcommittee helped with the narratives and sourcing the imagery, as well as volunteers from the greater committee and members of the public. We got volunteers that are experts on these different subjects to help us write these narratives and formulate the map. So Kristen, if you want to come up, Kristen's going to help us demonstrate this beautiful map that we created and also introduce the Passport of History program.
And Caitlin is going to help me since the computer is not here. So we created a map with the 28 locations, and as you scroll through the map zooms around Dare County to the location. She's going to scroll a little bit there was probably about 30 different people that contributed to write-ups, photos. This map is in collaboration with, the History Center, the National Park Service, just citizens of the county like Nancy Gray helped us. It's a big effort from everybody. So as you scroll around, the map moves. And then even as you click on pictures, if they take you to different locations, the map will move to different locations throughout the county. Most of the write-ups, thank you, Caitlin. Most of the write-ups are expandable, so you see the see more, and there's a lot more of the story there. And
some of them are longer than others.
Yes, some are a lot longer than others. We did give everybody a little bit of a limit, but a lot of sites just required a little bit more. So then some of the locations at the bottom, you'll see the little icon that we created. It's a Dare County passport stamp. And so out of these 28, there are 13 locations that you can visit, and you get a virtual stamp. There is a sign like this at each of the 13 locations, and you scan the QR code with your phone, and you just fill out a simple form. It's your name and your email address. At the end, based on how many you get, you'll get a certificate. It's from one of the founding fathers that signed the Declaration of Independence. So if you get all 13, you'll be a John Hancock, then a Thomas Jefferson, a Ben Franklin, a John Adams, or a Samuel Adams. Everybody will get one. Everyone that does come, yes. There are 5 of them floating around up there. Everyone will get one.
I'm Kristen's assistant.
Thank you. I have many today. The 13 locations we chose, we had a criteria. They needed to be accessible to the public. They needed to be open at least most of the time, and have a location for us to hang the sign where people can visit it. And we chose one of the Southern Shores Flat Tops houses. It's owned by the town of Southern Shores. It was donated to them. The Icarus Monument in Kitty Hawk. We have the Wright Memorial, Jockey's Ridge, Fort Raleigh Historic Site, Island Farm, Pea Island Cookhouse, Bethany Church, Buffalo City. So all the way back in Eastlake down that road, there's a sign, and it already has people signed up. Chickamaucomico Life Saving Station, and Graveyard of the Atlantic. So we did try and represent all areas of Dare County as much as we possibly could in a condensed format. But the passport program runs from January 1st, and it ends on November 18th, which is GIS Day. And after that, we'll compile the list of how many each person completed, and we'll email your certificates. And that's it. Thank you.
That is neat. Very neat.
Thank you.
I hope you'll all participate, and maybe in November or December, we can present your certificates in person at a meeting. Wouldn't that be fun?
No pressure, huh, Doris?
No pressure.
No, fine.
No pressure.
Why don't we just keep it between us and not say it out loud?
I would like a special Thomas Nelson certificate.
Okay. Brenda's not feeling, Brenda, who chairs the Schools and Youth Sub. I can do it, though. You sure? You're going to do it? Okay, she's not feeling great, so go easy on her.
Good morning. Happy New Year. My name is Brenda Shore, and I'm actually a resident of Manio. I'm excited to be part of the A250 committee and looking forward to the committee's hard work being seen and to the celebration of our country's 250 years. What you saw is a preview. Unbelievable, the work that's been done. One of the original and continued goals of the committee is to make sure that the entire community is part of the celebration. And this means all people of all ages, where our youth is essential to the community culture, and it is they who will actually be here to witness the future of our country. To assure that we have as much exposure as possible, we've engaged representatives from the various schools, public, charter, private, as well as working to include church groups, Boy Scouts, anyone else who has raised their hand and said we'd like to get involved. And part of our focus is to make sure that existing national and state resources are available to the teachers, parents, and students, and there is a lot of resources. The other part of our focus is on developing programs that encourage the participation of our youth and schools. So included in our plans are educational grants that will be available to teachers to support the instruction of A250 history and events, student art show, engaging our young artists, providing them with a forum to display their patriotic art at the fair, music program grants available to teachers for the development and preparation of patriotic music, and student essay contest awards, where the students of Dare County can apply by preparing a response to a standard patriotic subject. We look forward to the year and providing wonderful memories of 2026 and the nation's 250th celebration to all of our young, whether young in age or young at heart. And as noted on one of the announcements, where were you in 1976? We want to be able to ask our students and our youth, where were you in 2026? Thanks for allowing us to share this.
Carl Kernut is chairing the A250 Fair Committee and Subcommittee, and he is under the weather, unfortunately, because he is a theater guy and always gives a great presentation with lots of enthusiasm, but I'm going to fill in for him and do my best. The A250 Fair will be Dare County's signature event commemorating the nation's 250th anniversary. It's scheduled for Saturday, April 18th from 1 to 9 at the Wright Brothers National Memorial. It will be free and family friendly and is co-sponsored by the National Park Service Outer Banks Group. We're grateful for the support of we have two presenting sponsors, Southern Bank and the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau. So we very much appreciate their support. We're working on a detailed site layout that we actually Carl went out last week, that might be why he's sick, and laid out all of the different areas that will be part of the event. And we're coordinating closely with the National Park Service, and we're also reaching out for additional sponsorships, because as you can imagine, this is a large-scale event that's going to take a lot of support, financial support. The A250 Fair is going to celebrate Dare County's role in America's story through history, culture, and community engagement. There'll be programming throughout the day with local musicians, living history demonstrations, storytelling sessions, and immersive experience that bring our past to life. The celebration will culminate in a grand finale production that brings together community groups in a shared presentation. So we'll tell our history with live music and performances on stage. Vendor applications opened last week. We have 5 categories. We have food vendors, breweries and wineries, arts and crafts, retail businesses, and our many nonprofits. We hope to be represented as well. Priorities being given to vendors from Dare County and our neighboring counties to reinforce our goal of showcasing local talent, businesses, and organizations.
Dorothy, how many do you think we're going to get? If you have to prioritize Dare, that implies we'll have a lot of applications.
I think so. We've got...
That's great. I was just curious if...
I think, do you want to know the numbers that are open for each?
No, I'm just
Okay.
curious if you had a anticipation. It sounds like a very strong response.
We're
for vendors.
hoping for, I believe, 40 arts and crafts, 40 nonprofits.
Wow.
10 or 15 businesses, 10 food trucks, and I'm not sure about the breweries and wineries. Hopefully we'll get...
For God's sake, follow up with them.
Yes, we will.
The earlier ones are good to have, but let's
you
talk
better believe
essentials.
it. With these, we got a lot of go-getters.
All right.
Okay, planning is also underway for a thoughtful and appropriate VIP outreach effort. There was a notation made for me that Miss America's been invited. And also elected officials at the local, state, and federal levels, as well as nationally recognized ceremonial guests like Miss America. Welcoming these distinguished representatives reflects the significance of our county's role in America's early history, and it adds a meaningful presence to the event, I think. So we'll keep you posted. You all hopefully have it all have that date marked on your calendar. I think I had reached out and asked you to add that. So an event of this magnitude is only possible because of the dedication of many volunteers. We're deeply grateful for the expertise, time, and leadership of Carl Kernut and the entire A250 Festival Committee. While this is our A250 committee that I was introducing, there are subcommittees that bring in a lot of other people. So I want to make that I want to make that distinction. And as we look ahead, there are going to be a lot of volunteers needed the day of the event. and details on those opportunities will be forthcoming very soon. I want to say a special thank you to the Outer Banks Women Club. That group is very engaged. They have tons of volunteers, and they've already expressed their interest in being a part of this day. And we look forward to working alongside them and with other community partners to make this historic celebration a success and truly an event to remember. So that's my report. When I was introducing people, I did not introduce Caitlin, and that was an oversight because Caitlin is doing a ton of work. She and Jeff Schwartzenberg are chairing the Marketing and Outreach Subcommittee, so at this point, I'll turn it over to them.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Bring this down for myself. So I just wanted to list the members on our subcommittee just so you can see the reach that we have just on one little subcommittee alone. It's, of course, Jeff and myself, Stephanie from our our Dare County Public Relations, Jamie Whitley with the Town of Manteo, Patty O'Sullivan with Dare County Veterans Services, Robert Nielsen with the Southern Shores Town Council, Danny Couch, our former county commissioner, of course, Gray Parsons with the Seacotan Alliance, Kane Nickens with the Town of Duck, Lauren Garrett with the Town of Kitty Hawk, and Rachel Tackett with the Town of Kildeville Hills. So we've really got a really involved group to really help with our marketing community engagement efforts. And that's what Jeff and I are going to speak with you a little bit about. So first, if Kristen can help be my Vanna White to showcase the Dare A250 website. Our website is dareA250.org. And you can see this is the homepage here. Just wanted to show up in the top right corner, you'll see the pop-up to subscribe to our newsletter. We're sending a monthly newsletter out. I'll go through that here shortly. But if you would, Kristen, in that upper right-hand corner of the hamburger menu, if you will select maybe just the events page to start with. So Jeff's going to go through some of the qualifying events, but just to give you an overview of what this page is going to look like, people from the community can submit their events that qualify as A250 themed to be promoted on our website and in our engagement efforts. These are a few that we have currently. If you'll go to the next page, Kristen. Maybe the fair page. Okay, this is the webpage where if you wanted to volunteer currently, we're just gathering general interest if folks would like to get involved with either the fair or any of our outreach events we're going to be coordinating. This is the form that you can fill out under the Get Involved page. And the next page, Kristen. All right, and so this is our fair webpage. It has all the details that we have so far for our fair, some key features, what to expect, the timing, and then at the bottom of the page are all of the applications that Dorothy just mentioned. So all of our sponsorship information and packet and all of the different levels of vendor applications, and they're all open. We sent our newsletter out this morning, so that had the invitation for folks to go ahead and begin applying. I think we've received like 4 applications already, so I think, as you mentioned, Commissioner Ross, it's going to be quite popular. And if you'll show the passport page, maybe, Kristen, I feel like that's one of the ones I'd like to show. So this is our passport program webpage. So this, again, was showcased today, our passport program that Tammy and Kristen mentioned launched today, 13 sites. And this just gives folks an overview of what all of those sites are and how they can participate. And then it links to the larger map that Kristen created in GIS that's interactive and lists those additional historic locations. Right, and then if you will, I think it's the Of the People by the Sea form, and that's the last one that I'll showcase on the site. So this is great. So working with the History Subcommittee, they are providing a historical topic each month for us to include in our newsletter, and it will also be housed on this page. And then if you'll scroll down just a little, Kristen, you'll see there's a form where folks can submit their own history. So if you have a great photo about one of the historical topics that will be on this page, you can submit it this way. If you have a great, story that your great-grandfather shared with you that you'd really like to share with the public. We're going to have this be sort of like a blog on the site where we can share living history of Dare County. And then I'll just showcase our January monthly newsletter really quickly. If you'll click on that next tab for me, Kristen. Should be the newsletter up there. Perfect. So this was sent out this morning at 7 a.m., our first official newsletter. We had sent an introductory email to all of our A250 subscribers, but each month we will have a passport location spotlight. This one had the launch of our passport program, so it listed all of them. And then we'll have our Dare A250 fair news, so something that you can expect when we book a performance, something to get folks excited about. And then we'll have a historical highlights, one of those features that our history subcommittee will contribute. And then our A250 program and event spotlight. So as we continue to receive those events from the public, we just received a 4K on 4th of July to be added to our website. Those sorts of things will be featured here. And then educational curriculum updates from Brenda and the education subcommittee. They'll be providing, when the art contests and grant programs and things like that launch, that will be featured as well. And then our Dare A250 videos. We currently have 2 on the website, one general that Dorothy showed before we began, and then one specifically about the passport program. So all of our towns are also coordinating with us to make their Destination Dare content with Current TV themed A250. So they're all kind of digging into their records to find the historical topics they want to feature, and all of those videos will also be housed on this website. And then just to really quickly tell you about the outreach we're going to do, we will have some tables at markets with A250 branded swag and information, rack cards, flyers. We're going to do some digital ads on Facebook, on Google, Instagram to help promote the fair and the passport program. We've got ads reserved in the North Beach Sun and the Milepost. And then we're also in the process of creating a media kit that will have social media graphics and email banners that anyone from the public can help us by utilizing in their monthly newsletters. And I'll just hand it over to Jeff now to talk about his community engagement.
Thank you, Caitlin. Good morning. Happy New Year. Well, as usual, Caitlin pretty much has covered everything, including most of my stuff, and you saw the video, so I don't want to waste too much time, but I do just want to reiterate, this is really going to take a huge community effort to pull this off. We have an incredible committee, subcommittees. Again, just reminders, the Kelly St. Patrick's Parade on Sunday, March 15th will really kick things off for us, and then as Dorothy mentioned, the Dare A250 Fair on Saturday, April 18th is really going to be the pinnacle of celebrations for this event this year. Volunteers, I know we talked about it a little bit before, you saw it in the video. Volunteers are going to be a huge component to what we need to pull off this year-long celebration of festivities. DareA250.org/volunteer, whether it's sharing local history, supporting events, or really helping out behind the scenes. There's going to be a lot of hands-on deck needed for this. Last but not least, and I know Caitlin mentioned it, but the Of the People by the Sea section is really a cool way for local community members to share photos, memories that are tied to Dare County over their lifetime, their family's lifetime. So just lots of great opportunities for our community at large to get involved. We're really excited about publicizing and promoting what's to come this year. So thank you so much.
Those are all the subcommittee reports. So in closing, I just want to thank each of you for your support of this local A250 initiative. And as I said before, as we begin 2026, the work you've heard about today reflects a shift from planning to full implementation as we move forward. There will be visible community-wide engagement. That's our goal as we honor Dare County's role as the land of beginnings and its place in the American story. Are there any questions?
Do you guys have posters that businesses and stuff can put?
We will.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me know, because I'll distribute some down south.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Would love
Yes.
to put one in my own business.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Anything else that?
No, but a lot. It's amazing. It looks so good. I'm
We
so
have
excited to see
me
how it
too.
comes
We have a
together.
great team, and I'm truly thankful for that. So, and thank y'all for coming today, this morning, to show your support.
Absolutely phenomenal work.
Thank you.
Phenomenal work. I really look forward to this year and these upcoming events, and looking at everything on the website and also your presentations. Very well put together, very much a professional organization, and thank you so much for your time and your efforts, and greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Dorothy, are we getting those posters in all the restaurants?
Definitely. And we've had some different Caitlin, do you want to speak about some of that? Because I know we just got somebody asked for little cards, kind of like the town of Manio did.
Yeah, we'll have rack cards,
you go ahead.
postcards, and flyers. So they're all sort of in an approval process right now in the design, but we're planning to distribute them. We'll probably send a release when they're ready for distribution to give some pickup locations. But then if we get an intern or if we get some help from the floater to actually physically deliver to each of the locations.
I can see my hostesses having a dialogue with the customers when they see it on the wall, talking about it. So it's a good way to talk it up.
Definitely. Yeah, any participation we can get from our local businesses, we want to take part in.
Good job.
Okay, thank you again for allowing us time.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Chairman, that brings us to item 6 on the agenda. Lee Nettles is here from the Tourism Board to request your consent to an expenditure from the restricted fund event site line item 4525. Lee?
Good morning, Lee.
Good morning, Chairman, Board of Commissioners. Happy New Year. As the County Manager explained, I'm here to request your consent on an expenditure. It's a bit unusual, but then there aren't many event sites around. We've had the event site in operation for quite some time now. I believe the first Seafood Festival was 2012, and we've enjoyed many safe events out there, and we're increasing that number of events with the summer marketplaces, and all the weekends in spring and fall have already filled up. So to assist in that effort of improving safety, we've been working with the town of Nags Head and NCDOT to purchase a stoplight, a four-way signal there. And it would operate kind of similar to what you see at the Village of Nags Head was at Sea Chase, where it's activated by approaching vehicles east-west, and also the crosswalk button, but otherwise it would stay green.
Lee, do you know if they're going to add another stoplight where that hotel is going in just north of the event site?
That's my understanding, but we aren't involved in that one.
I wouldn't expect you to be. I was just curious if you knew if one was going to be added there as well.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know how that one will be activated, whether that will be part of the sequence as you go north-south, or if it's just activated by approaching vehicles east-west. So we are the majority owner of the event site. And as such, what's proposed or before you today, this is 2/3 of the expense. Nags Head would pick up the remaining 1/3, and it would be funded out of our event site line item.
That, every time I've been up through here when there's been events going on, it looks like total chaos. And I know that the Sheriff's Department does an amazing job, but there has been accidents and incidents, and it's especially at dark. So I will make that motion to approve that. I think it's very important, especially for the crosswalks.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Balance to
I'll second that motion.
To approve the expenditure. It's been seconded by the Vice Chair. The floor is open for discussion.
How much is the total cost for this stoplight?
We'll add a third. What's the
Yeah,
third?
$345,000.
Yeah.
What's that?
$345,000.
Like I said,
Nags Head's paying an additional third of this cost.
I got you.
Like I said, the last thing I'd want to see is another stoplight on the bypass, because it's not being a bypass anymore.
Right.
We can get down
But
there.
this particular situation, as having an event at the events center, I can definitely see where this is a safety concern, and I'm fully in support of it.
Nags Head off-duty police officers who the event developers hire to man that intersection and the crosswalk. They've done a great job, but we're only increasing the number of events that are out there.
Exactly.
Appreciate you recognizing that.
Any other questions of Lee?
There's not an intersection there, correct? It's just the event center, and is there a street directly across from that?
Yes, sir, there is. It's Grouse Street. Takes you to the beach. It's opposite the main entrance to the event site, but opposite that is Grouse Street. It goes east-west that block to the beach road.
I would just like when the state, because obviously DOT would be putting in the light, I'm assuming.
Yes.
When they put in that light, see if there's any way that we can operate that in the off-season as a stop only, like if a sensor light, because adding another stoplight to the beach in the off-season when we're not using the event center seems,
That's what he said. That's
We agree completely.
I just want to make sure that it operates okay in the wintertime, because there's numerous stoplights in Manio and other places that do not.
We agree completely.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, the Town and Ag said is adding a sidewalk on Grouse Street, so it'll just further improve that safety and flow so people aren't in the middle of the road trying to get across the street.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions of Lee? Then those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Chairman, that brings us to item 7 on the agenda. This is a request from the Martins Point Homeowners Association for a zoning text amendment to section 22-17.1 for the Martins Point single-family residence zone, and it's to extend pier lengths. Before we have that public hearing, I'd ask Noah to come up and sort of bring you up to speed, and at the conclusion of the public hearing, if there's anything that the Martin Point Homeowners Association would like to add, they're here, or they can answer questions if you have questions. So, Noah.
Morning, Chairman, Board. As Bobby stated, this is a text amendment to change how dock lengths on Jean Gite Creek in the Martins Point neighborhood are measured. Currently, docks are measured 75 foot from the outer fringes of wetlands, and that either the bulkhead or 75 foot from the outer fringes of wetland. They're asking to increase that to 100 foot when being measured from a bulkhead. Martins Point was platted in 1982, and since that time, the majority of the shoreline on Jean Gite Creek has been stabilized with bulkheads. The CAMA rules require that when you bulkhead a shoreline property, that the bulkhead be placed landward of any fringes of wetlands. Since the stabilization of that shoreline, these historic fringes of wetlands have diminished, and not every lot is able to take advantage of that increased measurement from the outer fringes. And what we've seen is existing docks become non-conforming, and newly proposed docks don't get the same length as their adjoining property owner might have. And one recent example, a homeowner applied to build a dock, and he wasn't able to reach a water depth that allowed him to get his boat there to dock it. This change would allow equal opportunity to deeper water for the residents of Martins Point that live on Jean Gite Creek.
I'll yield to the board if they have any questions of Noah.
It doesn't look like it extends out past the 75 from the GI, from what?
No, and there's aerial imagery in there
Like a land issue.
from 2012, images from 2012 and 2024 that show that this change in measurement would align new docks with the existing alignment of the docks that were constructed prior that had wetlands.
Yeah.
You can see in those imageries properties that once had wetlands that are now void of wetlands. So.
Questions for Noah?
All right.
It's pretty cut and dry for us, I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
it's cut and dry. I mean, I can certainly empathize. I lived on Bay Drive. Just to get to 2.5 feet of water, my pier was 410 feet long.
Yes, sir.
Just to get to 2.5 feet water, so I can empathize with those. And there, I'm looking at this, and of course, will 25 feet do it?
From looking at the aerial imagery and consulting with John Finelli, we believe that that 25-foot increase, it aligns these properties that don't have a dock currently. It would bring their dock alignment with existing docks that are at that water
Right.
depth to where they can dock a boat.
Yeah, it looked like it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a creek, not the sound anyway, so there's
No, I know it's
deeper
a-
water back
yeah, I
there.
know it's-
Yeah,
I know it's
that
a
only
creek.
applies to the creek side.
But
correct.
but the creek ain't but so wide.
I
Because
agree.
people boat and they water ski, they boat, they pull tubes, and there's docks on the other side, so it's a tight
Yeah.
turn in there, especially the closer you get to 158. Because I used to water ski back. I water skied back there.
It
many,
wouldn't
many
have
a
much
day.
impact on that end closer to 158 because there are wetlands present there.
Right.
So it
Chairman,
wouldn't have much of an impact
Before we
there.
get too deep, let's have the public hearing, then we can come back.
Okay,
and
all
have-
right, that's
have
right.
the
We're still in the
discussion.
public hearing. You're right. Sorry about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, now's the time that's been set aside for a public hearing with regard to a zoning text amendment to section 22-17.1, the Martins Point Single Family Residential Zone. If anyone would like to speak to that issue, the rules for our public hearing that we outlined earlier apply. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak to that issue? Yes, sir.
Come forward to the microphone, state your name, address.
Good morning. My name is Charles Turner. I live at 6037 Martins Point Road. So I think I'm probably the guy that Noah was talking about. We just replaced our dock and went out to the required 75 feet. CAMA gave me a 100-foot permit. And at 75 feet, after they finished the dock, I asked the builder to go out to 100 feet. The difference in water depth between 75 feet for me and 100 feet was 1.5 feet. So to me, that's a totally different boat. It's a totally different deal. Where I live, the distance between the bulkheads between Martins Point and Southern Shores is 404 yards. I'm in that wide section where all the water skiing goes on. The guys on either side of me, the owners on either side, both north and south, all of them have docks in excess of 100 feet. So it just occurred to me, too, that if you left things the way they were and a hurricane comes through and wipes out everybody's dock, most of my neighbors wouldn't be able to be permitted to get back to their own dock, to their own boat lifts at this point. So I support it because I think it would really be helpful. I don't think it, from where I am, I don't think it makes any difference. We don't have any seagrass. We're nothing but bulkhead now. So I'm here to speak in the affirmative. I hope it passes. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to this issue? Seeing no hands, anyone in Buxton like to speak to this issue?
No comment from Buxton.
With that, we would close the public hearing. I don't know if the association has anything to add. You're welcome. Sure.
Welcome, John.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm John Finelli. I'm a resident of Martins Point, and I'm here this morning on behalf of the Homeowners Association. So Gingite Creek is the body of water between Martins Point and Southern Shores. This proposed amendment will only affect the wide part of that creek, sometimes referred to as Gingite Bay. The southern end actually narrows down and becomes more like a creek, and it's a no-wake zone. CAMA has regulations that don't allow you to build a pier more than 25% of the width of the water body. So in that area, piers are going to be 25 to 50 feet long, regardless of what happens here. Gingite is a very popular area in the summertime. It's a recreational area for boats. It's a transit area for people going out to Currituck Sound. And it's been the desire of most people over the years to keep that usable part of that water as wide as possible. That's the main reason that there's a 75-foot maximum pier length in there. And that pier length applies in Dare County zoning for Martins Point. It also applies in Southern Shore zoning for them. And as Noah said, that the pier lengths are measured from either the shoreline or from the end of the marsh grass. Dare County, Southern Shores, and CAMA all go by the same standards. But what's happened in there in the last 20 years, and it's more prevalent on the Martins Point side, is that as this marsh grass has disappeared due to the bulkheads and the wave action, piers that were built at 75 feet and were completely legal, they're now 100 feet long. So they're non-conforming. And I would say that is the majority of the piers on the Martins Point side. So this will do a couple of things. It will bring the piers back into conformity, and it will allow residents to build out to the same length as their neighbors. Now, I know a lot of people talk about, well, I need more water depth. I've heard that from people over the years. It's usually new owners who don't understand the area. You can't get every boat you want and every piece of water down on the Outer Banks. If you have a if you have a fixed keel sailboat, you're not coming into Jingay Creek. If the mast is too high, you're not going under the Wright Memorial Bridge. But the piers in Martins Point now, it allows people with some pretty large boats to get out into Currituck Sound. Now, if you get a big northeaster and it drops the water level 2 feet, that doesn't happen. But for the most part, people can use this. The most important part of this is that this does not extend the existing pier line any further into the creek. Okay, the shoreline of Martins Point is 90% developed. I would say the majority of piers in there are 100 feet long from the bulkhead. So it does not extend the pier length, and that's very important. I met with representatives from Southern Shores back in October. We shared that water with them. It's important we're on the same page. I met with the mayor, the town manager, the town planner, and the planning board chairman. Went over our proposal. They had no objections. Martins Point informed all of its residents of this proposed change. We gave them a week to call in with comments and questions. And following that, we had a public hearing. During all of that, there were no objections. So I only see positive things from this. I don't see any downside. And again, the most important thing is we're not extending an existing pier line any further into the creek. Glad to answer any questions.
John, I'm not opposed to any of this, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's confusing what you're telling me. This gentleman's saying he applied for a permit and he got 100 foot.
Well, what
You're telling me there's already piers out there 100 feet, and this will bring them into conformity. This is confusing. You gotta do a better job of explaining this to me.
Okay.
Sure. This doesn't make sense to me.
All right, so under the old rules, before we change any rules, you could measure from the marsh grass, not from the bulkhead.
I understand.
So if you measured 75 feet from the marsh grass and you had 25 feet of marsh grass between you and the pier, you got 100 feet from the pier. Now there's no marsh grass. So I'm next door to you and I'm measuring from my pier, I can only go 75 feet. I mean, my bulkhead.
Bulkhead.
So now I'm 25 feet short of you because I didn't have that extra 25 feet of marsh grass to measure from. What this ordinance will do will let me go to 100 feet. My pier will now be the same length as your pier.
He's got it. He's got that. It was
I've
the
got
explanation that these two guys.
Yeah, I got that part.
Okay.
That was crystal clear to us.
Yeah.
What you said and what you said was
there was
conflicting or contradictory.
Yes.
When Mr. Turner originally applied for his permit, CAMA issued a permit for 100 feet.
100 feet from where?
From where?
Wait, stop.
From their bulkhead. CAMA's regulations.
So we got two sets of regulations. We got the CAMA rules and we've got the Dare County zoning.
Gotcha.
The CAMA rule in that situation allowed a longer pier than our zoning did. If we change our zoning, we would then be able to allow a pier the same length that CAMA did.
Okay, I understand that. But John's also said that there's only certain sections. So is there more than one zone MP1? Is there other zones in there?
No.
Because he said just a minute ago, there are certain sections that you can't do that.
All right, so then in all places, you still have to meet the CAMA rules as well as the zoning rules. So then as Gingite Creek narrows,
right,
in the narrow part of the creek, the CAMA rules say you can only go 25%. which means you can have a camel will only regulate a shorter pier no matter what we say.
That's assuming it's less than 400 feet across.
Correct.
Which
Right.
it is.
That's right.
And so in those areas,
That's just it.
even if we do this, they're still going to have short piers. It doesn't help them any.
I'm not opposed to any of this. I just want to make sure I'm clear and understanding of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, the southern end of Jingite Creek is very narrow. It is more like a creek.
Yeah.
And that area is marked off as a no-wake zone. So there's going to be short piers in there regardless of this due to CAMA regulations.
I got it now.
Okay.
Y'all just did a poor job of explaining it.
Okay.
He's a hard man, John. We got a little
Well,
every month. You just
maybe
come
I
once
did
in
a little
while.
better job in front of the planning board, but I understand.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion
I'll second.
on the floor by Commissioner Bateman. It's been seconded by the Vice Chair. The floor is open for further discussion.
I'm very well aware of this waterway, and this amendment here would not make any real difference of what the waterway is itself. It just brings everything into compliance, and I'm totally supportive of it.
Any further comments? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, and happy
Come
New
back, see
Year.
us.
And we probably skied together at one time. Just
Yes, we did.
just didn't know it.
At that very end down there, you as very well know, it's tight to make that turn. I fell many a time trying to make that turn.
Chairman, item 8 on the agenda is a request from the Children and Youth Partnership for Dare County for a text amendment to section 22-22 of the definitions for family child care home. Morgan Potts, our planning department's here for that presentation, as is Sarah Sampson from the Children and Youth Partnership and others from her organization. So
good morning,
Hi,
ladies.
Sarah. Hi, ladies.
Good morning. Something a little less complicated.
Thank you.
Are you sure?
I'll try my best. So the Children and Youth Partnership are requesting a text amendment to our definitions for a family child care home. The general statutes changed, so we are bringing ourselves into compliance with general statutes. So the statutes have increased the number of children permissible to receive child care in a residential setting from a maximum of 8, now it's 10. So now they can have 10 children. The planning board heard the text amendment at their regular meeting in December, unanimously recommended approval of the request, finding it to be reasonable and consistent with the policies listed in the 2022 Dare County Land Use Plan. You will see that there are draft motions available for you should the board find that the proposed amendment to be reasonable and consistent with the Dare County Land Use Plan. A draft consistency statement and motion has been prepared for you. And if you have any questions, there.
Any changes of any requirements to go from 8 to 10, specific changes?
It's based off of our ages. I'm sorry.
No, come on, yeah.
It's based off of our ages. I'm a family child care home, sorry. So if you have any children under the age of 2, you can have a max of 6 children, and it's broke down that you can only have 3 that are under 2, and then the rest have to be over. So it's a max of 3 under 2 at any given time. If you have 10, all the children would have to be over 2 years old, which is the same centers have had for years. So it just puts us at the same benefit, and hopefully get some of the children going, the illegal ones and the stories and calls I get, out of there and back into the licensed hands. So I stopped getting some of those calls.
Another topic.
And this was a change to the general statute in the state.
Right,
So we're just getting Dare County in compliance with the general statute in the state.
Yeah, it's the same one they fought to get us changed.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor by the Vice Chair to adopt.
County.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Bateman. The floor is open for
County manager
discussion.
was going to jump in
County
there.
Manager, you had something you wanted to add?
I was just going to say, we've been working on childcare for a while, and there's been lots of issues with capacity of childcare in Dare County. While this won't solve the problem, if you have multiple small childcare facilities that we're having 8 that can now have 10, then incrementally you start improving the childcare situation somewhat. Again, won't solve the problem, but it's a step in the right direction, and it's really not changing anything about what's going on in the child care homes. And as was stated, it'll help bring some of the children out of the ones we don't know about into the ones that are licensed and that we do know about. So.
I've talked to two women who run two of these daycares who both were hugely in favor of this. And no, I think it's a good thing, 100%.
And last month, you know, we lowered the fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is just a follow-up and a continuation of,
Yeah.
of us working
No,
towards.
It's a good thing.
Absolutely. See, when you came up, you said hopefully yours will be a lot easier, and the reason behind that is because women put it together.
And you're not even running for election.
That's right, and I'm not running for election. Any other comments by the board? Ladies, those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Y'all have a
Good job,
day.
ladies. You
Y'all
got
have
the
a good day.
yes.
Thank
As long as we don't get any of those daycares I've been seeing on the news for the last month.
I know. Yeah. Y'all have a great day, ladies. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your ongoing support and your work towards solving the childcare crisis in our community. And every little change that we can make makes a difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Chairman, this brings us to item 9 on the agenda. Barton has been working for a while on a stormwater grant for some projects on Old Lighthouse Road and NC-12 in Hatteras, and has received those grants. We bid the project out
Nobody
3 or
answered.
4 times. Three times,
Nobody
and
answered.
we didn't get any bidders. And so
Imagine that. Yeah.
did not, got 0 bidders. So the statute allows us to go out now and negotiate directly with the bidder. Barton's here before you to request that we be allowed to negotiate directly with Fred Smith and try to negotiate and execute a contract not to exceed $734,000, which is the amount of our grant, I believe. Correct. And so we need that approval. If you have questions, Barton can answer them.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Well.
Good summary, Bobby. Nothing to add.
That's the amount of the grant.
Yeah.
What is Fred
Correct.
Smith going to
Right.
say?
They
Let's
are-
try, I need 2.7 million?
No, we have our consultant working with them to get this project within budget
You're
to
going to say they need
734.
$734,000. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear to me, my bid would be 733,999.
Again, having received no bids, it sort of puts us in an awkward.
Well, that's
we're
what
gonna
my
do the
next
project.
question
Yeah,
was.
that's
We're
right.
kind of stuck, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, their initial proposal was north of 900,000, so our consultant worked with them to value engineer it to get it down to
You value it.
734.
All right.
Got it.
Thank you, Bart.
And to your knowledge, there's no local Hatteras Island contractors that would be
Oh, yeah.
licensed to do something
We
like
did
this.
communicate with one, but he couldn't put together a quote or do something of that capacity this soon. He's busy enough, I think, with other work.
Right.
But we've reached out to probably 5, 6 contractors after we bid it out 3 times, and just everybody's booked, too busy.
It's the same, and that's the same thing that happened with the school when the back wall came off. There was no contractors that could handle it. It was too big of a project, so.
Yeah, our consultants are saying that's kind of statewide. They're having issues even in like Wake County, finding more than one bidder sometimes.
Okay.
Maria, that's one thing I can say about staff. When we get into situations like this, they always take the extra step
Yep.
to see if there's a local
Yep.
on Hatteras Island that could meet the need.
Yeah, Barton, you're a black belt in this. I know you would have done that.
Pardon?
Just along that same line, we also require the staff to bid projects that don't require bidding. We want to be sure
Right.
that we've given everyone an opportunity.
Okay, you need a motion to approve the Fred Smith Company as contractor of choice and authorize the county manager to negotiate and execute a contract not to exceed 734, correct?
Moved.
Correct.
Is there a motion to do so?
Motion.
It's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Balance. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair and also Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Barton.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, item 10, in your packet, you have a request from the National Association of County Commissioners to send a letter of support for what's being called the SPEED Act. It's H.R. 4776. And that's a provision that's passed the House up there that expedites the permitting process and speeds up the NEPA process to get permits. And it's intended by making it quicker, faster to save the counties and the local governments money and therefore allow us to get our projects done quicker. We're going to talk to you in a minute what delays mean. And this will hopefully short circuit some of those delays if it can pass the Senate. In the packet, there was a form letter that they're asking you to use as the template. And so this is before you to authorize the chairman to sign a letter similar to the form template letter that's in your packet to support the SPEED Act.
This is similar, Commissioner Ross, to a federal bill that Trump brought before in his first term that I was invited to the White House to speak in favor of, cutting out the red tape and timeline for the permitting process. This is more on a state level here.
Hang on.
Very similar.
Back up. I think
It's very close to being similar to what.
I think it is very similar. You're correct. I think Trump did by executive order what you just described, and we went up and you spoke there at that. This is federal legislation, and it is designed to do by statute what he did by executive order.
That's right. Yeah,
Well, we got to file a lawsuit and stop him. Oh, I'm sorry. I take it back. I withdraw that.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of support.
Second.
All right. There's a motion on the floor by the vice chair. It's been seconded by Commissioner Ross. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, item 11, Jay Phillips has been before the board at public comment several times from down in Buxton. He's also sent emails and all that, and he's got a marina down there that he's got a lot of ideas that he'd like to do for that marina. In sort of the email chain and conversations with him, he's seeking support, not financial support, not zoning, not approvals, just, there's a list of things that could be done there: emergency access, a training research facility, full-time passenger service, all of those things. All of those things, to me at least, you may have differing views, appear to be positive things if he can make any of that happen. And he's asked us, would we be willing to send a letter of support saying, yeah, if you can get these things done, we support your efforts, but we're not funding them and we're not approving them.
I'm at a loss as to why our recommendation or our approval for this would change anything that he's working with at all.
I don't have the answer for that other than I forwarded you what was forwarded to me.
I'm with you, Steve. It felt like I need a letter saying we support good things for the county.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
if he's got something, he needs to bring it to us.
And also in his proposal says it could be used for this or it could be used for that.
Yeah, precisely.
There's no definite plan for it.
Right.
It's just good things that could happen.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it fair to me that, not write a letter, but go back to him and say, look, we don't object to what you're doing. If you can get forward with it and there's something specific for us, come back to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and that'll be the approach I take.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that the consensus of the board?
Yeah, feels right to me.
Okay.
Okay, now we get to the next part.
So, we're talking about delays. So our Public Works project, in order to proceed, we're at a place we could start like right now almost. But we don't have an approval that we need from the FAA, and we can't move forward without that approval, and we can't get a timeline for the approval. The lower level administrator has said that she's going to recommend that it not be approved. She's going to say, irrespective of the fact that you've got a public works facility that's been out there for more than 50 years and you simply want to replace those buildings, I'm not going to recommend approval. And she throws a lot of things out there for her reasons that don't really make a lot of sense to us. We can't put it together.
He's a federal government employee.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
So what we've done is we've engaged with the North Carolina Department of Aviation, and they're working with us, and they have some representatives that have relationships with the FAA. They're supposed to meet with Dustin and I either later this week or the first of next week to try to get together some of the things and see how to sort of navigate what we believe was just things that were thrown up against the board to see what was sticking. So we're working through that. The crux of it is it's delayed that project where we can't start it. We've told Barnhill of the predicament. We don't have any indication of when we're going to start it. And we've asked them, well, we're going to ask them, subject to your approval, to just stop. Don't do anything else that costs us money on this project until we can get a better handle on what the FAA is going to do, what the timeline is going to be, and all that sort of thing. That does mean we're going to have, if for some reason we just couldn't do the project, we're going to have $400,000 of sunk costs that are just sunk. Can't imagine that it's going to come to that, but nonetheless, delay is going to add cost, and we just have to deal with that. It's our intention, assuming these meetings go as we hope, to have a capital improvement meeting between now and the February board meeting to sort of talk about this in more detail, to talk about a plan, something we could come back to the full board and recommend. It's also going to have some impact. We may need to make some decisions about the timing of our other projects and so on, and how do we handle the money and things for those. So I throw all that out not for you to do anything, not to take any action, just to let you know that's what's happening and let you know what's coming. In a similar vein, the project down in Buxton for the transfer station down there has run into a regulatory roadblock as well, in that there's some rules out there that prohibit transfer stations in flood zones. And so to build a true transfer station, which is what we plan, may not be possible there. And if that in fact becomes true and we don't have an exception or a way to get around that, it's going to change the way things are done with commercial debris on Hatteras Island. They're going to have to bring the commercial debris up here. We're not going to be allowed to transfer it as we've been doing down there. So that's out there. We'll see. That has an impact too, because if we can't do that project, that's bad for the commercial people, but it also changes the funding sources and all that for our other projects, and we just got to put all that stuff together in one place, and that's what that CIP meeting would be about, assuming we have enough information to have the meeting before our February meeting. So did I hit all of
I think you hit it. Do we need to talk to our federal legislators to, I know you've had some conversation.
I've talked to them 2 or 3 times. They have made contact with the FAA. I talked to them the Friday before Christmas. They were out of the office from then until now. Their first day back, I think, is either today or tomorrow. I told them we would be coming back to them, but I wanted to wait and hear what the state had to say. If they had the solution and the contact and would get it all done, then I didn't want to pull rank on them. But if they didn't have a plan and we were still spinning wheels, then I would come back to them. And they said they would help us however they could.
Bobby, and I suspect the answer is no. Was there any objection raised specifically that would have merit that we should consider? And again, I know you'll give us a fair response that some pushback objection.
And Dustin's more intimate than I am, but if I can't answer, you help me out, Dustin. The answer is I'm going to give you more than you asked, but we have a public works facility that's been there since the 70s.
Yep.
Presumably, there's a deed restriction. When the Navy gave the county the airport, there was a restriction that the property be used for airport purposes. We've used this piece of land, 6 acres or thereabouts, for the public works for over 50 years. And presumably, there was a release done from that deed back in the 70s when they did it. The 70s files don't exist. We can't find anything that deal with this that far back, nor can the FAA, nor can the Division of Aviation in Raleigh.
So it's a technicality. She's standing on that.
But it's been there and been operating for 50 years. And so all we're doing now is the same thing we've been doing, is just doing it in a new building instead of an old building is what we want to do.
In violation.
Well, and so to clean it up and in talking with the LGC and really in prudence from the county perspective, we don't want to spend $40 million and then get in a fight with the FAA about whether we can do it or not. So we've waited, and the LGC wants us to get it resolved before they're going to approve the financing.
Yeah, of course.
It. And so we're going through all this. Now, to your question, the reasons that were given, there were a couple that were legitimate from our perspective. One was we knew this was the case. Anytime that you have to release something from that restriction, you have to pay fair market value for whatever you're getting from that release. And we had, our tax appraisals, all that, we assumed that would be sufficient since we just did reval for the fair market value and use that as our fair market value. They've come back and said that we need 2 independent appraisers, and so we're getting those done as we speak to come in and verify. It kind of doesn't matter because we give the airport authority a stipend of nearly $1 million a year that we don't have to give them. And so whatever the value becomes, that $1 million a year covers the value, no matter what. And so it won't be a financial burden to us. It's just one of those technical things we have to go through. That's fixable. Some of the other things don't make any sense. Like you're not the sponsor, so you can't, by the definition, be the one requesting. Well, that's not right. We are the sponsor. They don't understand the relationship between Dare County and the airport authority. And so they've got themselves wrapped around the horn.
It sounds like this lost release from the 70s could be the linchpin, though.
Could be.
And an authority that could grant such a release today might break through the logjam.
Well,
I'm guessing.
The bigger problem is, I believe if we could get somebody with authority in a room and talk to them and say, look, here, let's just talk this through, then all the legal mumbo jumbo goes away because it doesn't make any sense when you try to take what they're saying and put it in context of what we're doing and what we're requesting and what's been done.
Okay.
And so that's our problem. And we haven't been able to facilitate that in-person meeting. We're hoping North Carolina Aviation can.
Thank you, Bob.
Did I get that right, Dave? Okay. Any questions about that?
No.
All right. That brings us then to our consent agenda. Oh, back up. We're going to I need your approval to tell Barnhill to sit tight and take no further action that costs us money until we let them know differently.
You need consensus or
I need a motion.
a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion on the floor by the vice chair, seconded by Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Okay. Brings us to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, you have the approval of the minutes from December. You have the tax collector's report. You have the 2025 CRS Annual PPI Report. You have a budget amendment for debris removal. You have budget agreements for the 2026 election cycle. And you have a budget amendment for emergency management grants.
Motion approved.
The motion on the floor by the vice chair to approve as presented. Is there a second? Second. Seconded Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next are your board appointments. You have the Albemarle Region Resource Conservation and Development Council. Aaron Fleckenstein resigned, and the council has recommended Matt Paulson to be appointed to fill her unexpired term.
Motion to appoint.
Motion on the floor to appoint Matthew Paulson by the vice chair, second by Commissioner Balance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is the Board of Equalization and Review. The terms of Nelson Jones, Jonathan Waddell, Jeffrey Scott, Terry Gore, and Charles Evans all expire this month, and they would all like to be reappointed.
Motion to reappoint all.
Motion to approve all by the vice chair, seconded by Commissioner Creef. Any further discussion?
Just a real quick one. Everybody expired on the same date? 1225?
Yes, sir.
The entire board? So we don't stagger these. Typically, we would
Whenever that
stagger.
was created, back in the day, they didn't.
Anybody
stagger.
notice that? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
fine with the
Yeah.
reappointments, but
Yeah.
it just, everybody at the same day seemed a little alarming to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is the Land Transfer Tax Appeals Board. Mike Sears from Nags Head was not reelected, so they have to put in a new council member to take his place, and the council recommends Mayor Ben Cahoon be appointed to that unexpired term.
Make the motion to approve the recommendation.
Motion on the floor by the vice chair, seconded by Mike Burris, Commissioner Burris.
Mayor Cahoon.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is the Tourism Board. The Dare County Restaurant Association has submitted 3 alternatives, Daniel Lewis, Sumner Copeland, and Ally Stepp, and you can appoint one of those.
Nominate Summer Copeland.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Bateman to nominate Summer Copeland. Seconded by Commissioner Balance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is the town of Kitty Hawk. The town recommends Jeff Pruitt to the seat that was previously held by David Hines.
Motion to approve.
Motion on the floor by the
I'll
vice
second
chair.
that.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Creek. Further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is the town of Nags Head, and they recommend that Megan Vaughn be appointed to the seat formerly held by Mike Sears.
I thought, didn't we just do Ben Cahoon for that? That was the previous one.
That was,
Yeah, it was, yeah, a different board.
Different board. I got you.
was that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, yeah.
Vice Chair, seconded by Commissioner Balance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is your Transportation Advisory Board. The board recommends that Angela Sinesso be appointed to fill the public business sector seat that was formerly held by John Rafferty.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor by the Vice Chair, seconded by Commissioner Ross. Further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And then last is the Working Waterman Commission. Dewey Himmelwright's terms expires this month, and the commission recommends him for reappointment.
Motion to reappoint.
Okay, motion on the floor
Second.
by the Vice Chair, seconded by Commissioner Creef. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And then your upcoming board and committee appointments. In February, you have 3 terms on the Planning Board. In March, you have 1 term on the Transportation Advisory Board. In April, you have 1 term on the Airport Authority. In April, you also have 1 term for the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, 3 terms for the Mans Harbor Marina Commission, and 2 terms for the Older Adult Services Advisory Council. That would be your agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, County Manager. That brings us to item 15, Commissioner's Business and Manager Attorney's Business. You have anything else for us today?
Starting on a good note, I have no
Man,
business.
hey, wait, mark that one on the
That's
wall.
a first.
Gracious. That's a first.
About that
That
combined with
is
no
a
public
first.
comment.
Do
We
what?
didn't have public comment either.
That's right.
No, no appeals for the retired lawyers fund or anything like that? No? Okay.
Oh, love it. Our Public Information Officer, Ms. Hester, do you have anything else for us?
I've covered everything, and you covered also the state of the county date, so I'm
Okay,
good.
thank you. Our Chief Financial Officer, Matt, do you have anything else for us?
So we filed the annual comprehensive financial report on December 23rd, almost 2 months ahead of the deadline. So we will have an audit committee meeting over the next few weeks, and then we'll bring that report to the February meeting along with our auditor's presentation. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. All right, that brings us to council members, and Commissioner Burris, do you mind kicking it off today?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I just want to say it was a lot of fun around the holiday season. I hope everybody had as much fun and enjoyed it as much as I did. It's a special time of year. We kicked off the new year in style, Commissioner Balance and I, by jumping in the ocean. The polar plunge for the Buxton Civic Association. It was pretty frigid, and it was, but it was also a learning experience because Brett had that fantastic jacket that now I got to get one before we do the same plunge in February for the Special Olympics. So that's something to look forward to. And just a lot of good things going on. You know, the soccer team this morning, that was fantastic. Coach Cleaver there has done a fantastic job. You know, something we talked about this morning when I had a quick second to speak with him. When we were growing up, you played your rec sport and that was it, and you moved on. But a lot of today's coaches have really bought into giving not just a couple months out of the year, but they put their heart and soul into it year round. And he's already got a futsal, which is an indoor style of soccer. That'll be going on all winter, and it's just the commitment by those who are teaching our young folks, you know, how to play these sports, and he teaches at the school too. But their commitment to their time and their dedication to our young people in this community is fantastic, and I'm really happy to see that because it really gives our children an avenue to get out and be a part of something and have some fun. So to see them successful is a wonderful thing. And I'm really pleased to see everything going on. On a personal note, you know, I give back by coaching with a travel program, OBX United. It's a young men and young ladies basketball, and we lost a coach of ours over the past week, Ryan Gibbs, and he was a wonderful person. There again, coached at different age levels where he didn't even have children, just to give back and to get out there and coach. So our hearts broke this week when we got the news of that. So our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family this week as they navigate the troubled times. But that's all I have this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have you seen indoor soccer?
I have.
It's fast-paced. It's unbelievable. It's a 5-man team. They play it on a basketball court. There's no side out of bounds. They play it off the wall, and it is fast. Both of my sons played it in Virginia. I'm glad to see them bringing it here because it is really, really fun to watch. And if you get a chance, go because they play
So
it.
it's faster than when they play in that 3.5-mile long field
You better
with
believe it
44
is.
guys
You
running
better
around?
believe it is.
Okay.
It's like having an
And the
extra man on the
balls, and
field.
the balls,
'Cause
the
they
ball.
It's like having an extra man
The
on the field
ball
because they
is
use the
a
wall.
soccer-sized ball, but it's the texture of like a tennis ball.
Yeah.
It's a whole different texture ball, and it's really, really neat to watch them play, and it's fast.
My nephew
I mean,
plays.
It is fast.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. If you get a chance, go watch it. Commissioner Balance.
Busy month, but yeah, starting the year off in the polar plunge great turnout. It was a fantastic turnout. It was really good to see. They had probably had over 100 people there. It was really fun. Not everybody jumped in, but everybody cheered us on. Not to bring up Facebook, but there's, comments that go on about, things that are going on Hatteras Island with the roads and things like that, and this assumption, because they don't see something happening, that nothing's happening. But I just wanted to bring attention to a couple things. So there's a couple studies going on right now that are research projects with Drew Ross from NCSU, with Aaron Seecamp is overseeing him with that, and there's a group of people from Hatteras Island and that are meeting with him regularly, stakeholders on the island that meet with him, and he's looking at and trying to come up with strategic plans on, how we can handle this erosion stuff. And then last month, Bobby and I met with Laura Moore. She's with UNC Chapel Hill, who's also doing some research projects and looking into ways that we could tackle these issues. And I'm going to brag on Barton. The work that he does looking for grants and opportunities for this county is stellar. Thank you. He just goes above and beyond, and not just for those kind of projects, any kind of projects, the house raising projects, the land acquisition for recreational things. I've been asking him about some stuff like that for that, and he's just has such a great finger on the pulse
Third
of
degree black
those.
belt, Martin.
He's, he just does such a great job. So for those of you that think that there's nothing going on, you might not see it. And like, I saw something on Facebook that there was no indication that there was going to be the beach nourishment. It's like, they were all on the beach the other day they walking with the contractors. What are you talking about? But these are also people that don't ever pick up the phone and ask questions. So I just want to put it out there that contrary to what you might see in your daily life, in our daily life, it's a constant topic of conversation between all of us and with the staff of Dare County, with Bobby, with UNC Chapel Hill and NC State and the Department of Transportation. We had a conversation with some people over that. So and we got awarded the grant. So that, I mean, it's just, there's so much more going on than people want to open their eyes to. And if you are not sure, just call and ask or send an email and we'll figure it out or we'll address it. But I just needed to put that out there because I probably did 5 or 6 meetings last month just on those topics. Did you want to add to that?
I was going to, Laura Moore, Dr. Moore is also the chairman of the science panel for the Coastal Resources Commission. And at the last Coastal Resources Commission meeting, the commission directed her and the science panel to begin looking at alternate shoreline mitigation methods other than beach nourishment.
Bulkheads, things like that,
Whatever.
for structures.
And something
breakthrough.
short of a seawall.
Right.
To try to start looking at ways to do that. And so they're starting that work. That's in conjunction with the work that they've asked Commissioner Balance and I to sort of work with them, and they've got another research group that's researching down there as well through UNC. So there are a lot of things going on that we're involved with. I can come back every month and tell you we're involved, but I can't come back every month and tell you, okay, here's where we are, and here's when we're going to have this or that, because it's not going to work that way. But these processes are happening. What's going on with Dr. Moore and the CRC? There's a similar project going on with UNC Wilmington. I've talked with the professors down there as well. They've got a project where they're looking at other shoreline mitigation techniques for Figure 8 Island, which is having problems similar to we are. That one's privately funded, and so there's work going on. We're involved in all of that stuff. At the same time all this is going on, we've been in touch with the Coastal Federation, with the Southern Environmental Law Center, with all the stakeholders to let them know what we're doing, what we're thinking, get their feedback so that the process goes smoothly. And when we get to the end, hopefully much as the chairman did with the MC12 task force, we can get all the minds together and come up with solutions that we can all live with. So that's the goal, that's the plan, that's happening. It isn't going to be quick. It's not going to be something that next week we're going to have an answer or next month. We all know it's a longer process, but we got to get the process going now so that we can continue doing nourishment and we have other things in place before we run out of money or we run out of sand.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
But I just wanted to make a note of that. We did the housing nonprofit is meeting regularly. We had our last meeting here. Our next meeting will be at the building down in Southern Shores. Town Bank is going to give us, we have a building right behind there, so we'll be starting to meet there next month. And got some committee meetings are going on. We've got some ideas on fundraising and things like that so we can start this process. Lots of good stuff happening there. And then real quick, just kind of put on the radar. It is real quick.
I know. No, I'm not. Please.
Not ready to do anything about it yet, but I'm looking into, it's been an ongoing problem since I was on the president of the Booster Club with some parking issues at the teacher housing. So I'm doing a little bit of a deep dive. I've talked with Dustin and Bobby about a few things and still want to gather a little bit more information, but might be coming back to you guys to see if we could do something just to get some cars off the back road during some of the busier times there on that back field, that soccer field that's behind that. So I'll be talking with, getting up with David and Bass Knight, Superintendent Bass Knight to see, and the principals, talking with a couple other people to see if there's something we need to do there. So just to put it out there. Other than that, That's all I got.
Yeah, I think with what we got rec-wise, I think we can certainly come up with, I've been out there with you to see that, and I think we can come up with a plan to get some more parking out there in spaces.
Yeah,
So-
I've spoken to Commissioner Balance as well, and I'm just kind of looking for the Board of Education, the superintendent, and their education foundation to come back with what the plan should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Commissioner. Appreciate all your hard work. Commissioner Ross?
Okay, I will be brief. Just a quick reminder, on February the 12th, early voting begins. We have a primary election cycle coming up. And again, yesterday, Commissioner Balance and I were chatting about this. She's going to be doing a presentation, which is really good of you, and I'm very impressed about the whole primary election cycle and why it's important, because we took the time to look up the last time a primary was run in Dare County in a non-presidential election year. Can you guess how many voters showed up, Mary Helen?
17%.
You are almost spot on, 17 and a half. Yeah. Very good guess. 17 and a half. So less than 1 in 5 citizens were making enormous decisions for more than 4 out of 5 citizens, because that's all that chose to show up, either early voting, by mail absentee ballot, or on election day. So it begins February 12th. The actual primary date is March the 3rd. And, we will remind you again next month, it is important not to simply pass it by. So that would be really good. February 28th, and again, Mary Helen, I expect you to be out there and in the water with us on the Special Olympics polar plunge. Mary Helen has let the record show she has declined.
I have a heated jacket you could use.
You're the bright one, Mary Helen. The rest of us are, I'm not so sure.
Not so
Jeanette's Pier, the 28th of February, we're going in, yes, we're going in, which leads me to segue to another event on the 28th. The Outer Banks Hospital, ECU Health Hospital, it will be holding a large fundraiser at Duck Woods Country Club, that very prestigious club where our own county manager happens to be a member. And I urge you all to keep your eyes open and look for that. February 28th, Outer Banks Hospital, Duck Woods Country Club, a very good cause and a fun evening for all. So there's a plug for Jen Schwarzenberg and the folks over there. I'm checking my list quickly. I just want to reiterate something on a serious note. We heard 2 employees of the month, Laura and Shay. I listened carefully to the 2 presenters, and I cannot say how impressed I was and how grateful for the kind of people, the work, the contributions these 2 ladies did. Hats off to them. Again, salute to both. Very, very impressive, and I really just want to call that out. Commissioner Bateman, I think this may be on your list, but we have a recovery court graduation ceremony on, let's see, the 17th, 19th?
I think it's the 18th.
I think it was 18th.
18th on Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday, 18th.
Saturday is
Yes,
the
sir, 1
17th
o'clock.
of January. You said it's the 18th.
I think it is. Let me.
January
Saturday's the
17th is a
Because I'm going
Okay.
hunting on the legislative hunt.
Yeah,
same
17th,
day.
I'm sorry.
All right,
Saturday.
so we had 19, 18. Let me wipe the board clear. It is Saturday, January 17th. Recovery Court graduation. It is a fabulous ceremony. So again, congratulations to all the graduates coming up on that. And finally, for all of you that like cardiac arrest, last night my Pittsburgh Steelers pulled out the championship with the last-second miracle. So congratulations to all of those in Steeler Nation. Sorry for that partisan plug, but that's all I've got. What's that?
Is there still a Steeler Nation?
Please disregard any comments from Commissioner Burris. He's under the influence of medication from his doctor, and sometimes he just is not sure of what he's saying. I pass to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Chairman House.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Coming up Wednesday, January 7th, the Wounded Warriors in Action Purple Heart recipients will be coming to the Outer Banks on, like I said, on Wednesday, January 7th. If you want to, it'd be a great presentation if you'd line the road between the Wright Brothers Bridge and the Welcome Center. Fly your flags, big thank you notes, welcoming them to the Outer Banks for a week. Should be arriving in Dare County probably about sometime between 1:30 and 3, depending on traffic from the airport and all that on the escort in. So that's a wonderful thing for them to do. Update from the Oregon Inlet Task Force. We've been working several months to get the alternate channel from a 100-foot wide to a 200-foot wide channel. As you know, with 100-foot wide, even with two charter boats, it's kind of tight with wind and currents and all of that. Now imagine trying to get two trawlers to come past in that area with the wind and currents and 100 foot. It doesn't work. So we have been in the past 3-4 months working on getting that channel widened to 200 foot. And so far we have gotten, as of last week, we got confirmation from the state that they are in approval of it. Now we're just waiting for the Army Corps to sign off on it. So that is in the works, and we're still trying to work hard on getting that done as well. Make Oregon Inlet a little bit safer for all the boats coming in and out. Also, North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries is at it again. Striped bass, or better known as rockfish. In the Albemarle Sound, Pamlico Sound, Currituck Sound, you cannot fish for them. However, the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission will allow you to fish for them in the rivers during spawning season. So if there's a real problem with our fish stock, why would you interrupt the fishing while they're trying to reproduce? It just doesn't make any common sense at all. And with that, if you look at the economic part of it, a lot of the fishing guides that are in our rivers, they're making a ton of money off of it. Whereas our local guys who do recreational charters in our sounds, out of business. Why does that make sense? I have been on the phone 3 different times with several different members of the Marine Fisheries Commission and Division of Marine Fisheries, trying to get an understanding of what is their rationale behind this. And I keep getting a runaround.
There is none.
They're not affiliated with the FAA, are they? No?
No.
No. All right, you're checking.
When's the next?
Maybe the CCA, but not the FAA.
That's right.
But just want to make that aware from everybody, and we are trying to get to the bottom of it, trying to open up the fishery, at least for the Albemarle and Pamlico Sounds, for as far as Dare County is concerned. And we're just trying to make some common sense of the fisheries for the striped bass, and there is no common sense, so we're trying to figure out what their rationale is behind it and try to work around it. And do we have a pet of the week? I didn't get a thing this morning.
Yeah.
Don't have one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do? All right. The favorite part of our commissioners meeting. Let's see the pet of the week.
Our pets of the week are Dasher, Ducky, and Goose. These 3 siblings are about 6 months old and were brought into our care by animal control. They can be a little shy at first, but are warming up quickly and have so much love to give. We can't wait to see them thrive in a home where they can be treated as part of a family. To adopt Dasher, Ducky, or Goose, or foster one of our other animals, come visit us Monday through Friday at our shelter located in Manio. For more information, visit our website at obxspca.org or visit our OBXSPCA Facebook page.
So definitely go out to the OBX SPCA. There's some wonderful puppies there. And take 1, take 2, take all 3. And I'm sure they would love to have a forever home in your home and give you a tons of love in the meantime. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. May 2026 be filled with joy and fortune.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Commissioner Bateman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Manager, 2 years ago, we had a conversation when they were replacing the bridge in Hatteras Village about the bulkhead over to the right-hand side if you're heading north. And when I was walking in the Christmas parade, I noticed that nothing had been done there.
Correct.
Are we thinking about doing that?
Are we thinking about funding that?
We had.
Well, we talked about,
Have
just
not?
we talked about.
Yeah, we did. We
Yeah, we did.
funded it.
We talked
We funded it and said,
riprap.
rip-rap, if that's what the state was going to do. If they were going to do bulkhead, we were going to bulkhead it. I talked to you about it, and the funds were there.
No, sir.
We have approved the funds for that.
There are no funds in the budget for that, Mr. Chairman.
I'm telling you, that's what we were told.
We've walked that property. I've walked it with staff. If you walk down the side along the canal, along Slash Creek there's a beach there, and there's a nice flat beach. And the erosion along that side is minimal. When you get around to the back side where the vegetation is, there is erosion or there's undermining of some of the trees there. And the question becomes, how far along are we going to do and how do we fund doing it? We did talk about if we're going to do it. When we talked about doing it, we talked about were we going to do riprap, were we going to do the corrugated metal, what was were we going to do wood? You know, what were we going to do there? We never gotten a price for what it would cost to do that. And what we were in fact doing is we were waiting to see what the state did so that if we decided to do something out there, we could then attach it to or mimic whatever it is they were doing there. Again, one of the key issues was, you know, how are people going to load they're using that property, and we're letting them, we don't mind that, to offload their kayaks and all that stuff. That beach, coming off that beach is a lot better and simpler and easier than building a bulkhead and something that they get off of, because we didn't have any erosion there, because we had access for the kayak people who were the ones that were concerned. We've taken care of the issue, I think, with the helipad there. And so the only other issue was, are we going to go on the back side of that property and do it? Nothing is in peril, nothing's at risk, but there is an undercut problem there on that. You know, if we're going to spend a bunch of money to do that, I would say that let's go down there and take a look at it. You already did, and if that's where we want to go, then I can get Dustin to get numbers to do that, and I don't know what it would cost, but.
I'm not saying spend a bunch of money, but what I was thinking is, in the areas that they would not launch a kayak, put some Amoco 5000 down there, rip-wrap it to stabilize that section, leave the beach part open for the kayak accessible stuff, and then on the back corner where it's being highly erosion, then put the rip-wrap and the Amoco there. And rip-wrap's cheap, and there's tons of it all over the place.
If that's what you all want to do, then
Remember when Reed Wilson came down and we went over there and we talked about a living, we talked about the living shoreline and seeing if there was a grant, like if we could do something for a living shoreline across the back piece of that. And that last time I thought we talked about it that day, doing the living shoreline piece and then rip-wrap up to where that beach part was.
We've talked about a bunch of stuff, and for that to happen, we have to do what we're doing now. If that's what the board wants to do that, then I can get Dustin to go get prices to see what it costs to do that, and then come back to you and figure out where we're going to get the money from to do it at whatever that number is. But we never got that far.
Let's get the numbers.
Yeah, get the numbers.
Dustin's got it.
Okay.
The other one I had, I asked you about this earlier, driftwood.
Right.
Multi-use path.
So we got a grant. Barton's here for that. We have a grant that we got to do that. We're working on a second grant, Martin? We got a tourism board grant, and you're working on and so the survey work, the conceptual design, all that work is in process. We got another grant that we've applied for that we need that work to give them, and then we get that grant, then we start construction.
Okay, good. The rec plan, we got the rec plan, we spent all last year going through all that stuff. Where are we at with that?
Recreation plan.
Where you all say we are. You all have to decide, all right, what are we going to do? How are we going to fund it? What is our
Put a
plan?
referendum on the ballot.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked probably, but
Well,
if you,
that was for additional. We already have 1-point-something million to spend. For additional, we were gonna put it on the ballot.
Yeah, it's a $50 million do it A
I
to
know.
Z.
Yeah,
That's
said-
the ballot measure.
Well,
if you all want to proceed with that, then we need to sit down and talk about how are we going to fund it. If it's going to be with that referendum, then how are we going to do that? How are we going to market that? What are we going to use the money for? What do we tell people what we're doing and how we're doing it? And while some of us have talked privately about that, you all haven't discussed that as a board.
Well, we need to get it on the agenda. If we're gonna do get it on the ballot, we need to get it on our agenda so that we can get it on the ballot in
Well,
time.
would you like to run that through the CIP so that we can have a
No, I
lot?
think we have a consensus.
Yeah.
I think we have a
All right, so
consensus.
then which project are we doing first?
Well, we do have to have a
Right,
CIP.
so that's what I'm saying. We got to get a plan. Yeah.
But do we have to run it through the CIP before we get it on the
No, I was
ballot?
thinking is we have a CIP between now and February, come back in February.
Okay,
and then
appreciate
you
it.
all
Come
tell
back
us.
and present it.
There are questions. The subcommittee can address it.
Just because it's going to take a few hours to go
Right.
through
Yeah.
that, and we don't have that much time at one of these
Right.
meetings.
Right.
To
Okay.
call a CIP next week.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
We will.
He's doing it.
Let's roll.
Get her done.
Anything else?
The other thing, on a sadder note, Tony Bruno, I don't know if y'all knew Tony or not, he was a pilot, aviator, he was flew fighter jets off aircraft carriers, he passed away. And a super nice guy, he served on the airport authority with me. He also had the.
Also on the First Flight Society.
Exactly. He was just an upstart, super nice guy. And, but he passed away. But he lived a good life and had leukemia and fought it for a long, long time. And just a super nice guy there. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Creek.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to start out by hoping that everybody in Dare County had a wonderful Christmas. This is America. We still say Merry Christmas here. Another thing is, going into the new year, everybody's got their own resolutions. So now that New Year's is full of new resolutions, I'd like to start with that this place means a lot to me. The SEC, back when they were competitive, their slogan used to be the SEC, it just means more. Well, I think we should steal it because it obviously doesn't mean more to them anymore. So I'm going to say Dare County, it just means more. It has been a wilderness, a battlefield, and a sailor's worst nightmare. But to a few, a brave few, it was a land of opportunity. A land of dreams our forefathers paved with unwavering courage and revolutionary ingenuity. My resolution is to be a foundation to my family, a soldier to my constituents, and a better representative of my faith in 2026. We celebrate 250 years of our nation, a declaration of faith in God and the inalienable rights of a free people that would inevitably change the history of the world. I often feel the pressure of trying to live up to a life that was paid for by so many generations of tremendous sacrifice. My heart goes limp when I hear taps for a fallen hero, but is filled with overwhelming pride when I hear our great national anthem. This is my home and heritage, the incarnation of all my memories, and everything that made me who I am. Freedom is only one generation away from extinction. We must continue to fight for the independence of our fishing industry. I would love to take all the bureaucrats and those on the Marine Fisheries Commission for a nice tour through Wanchese and a nice seafood lunch at McDonald's getting a fish sandwich because that's all we can get now. Let them see the dilapidated fish houses and the rusty boats of an era gone by and the loss of GDP growth and what it provided for this county. We also must maintain a conservative approach to budgeting to provide low tax rates while also balancing our excellent community services here in Dare County. But most of all, in this new year, we must love our neighbors like ourselves so that we can maintain our beautiful culture that makes us who we are. In closing, my sixth great-grandfather, Thomas Nelson, signed the Declaration of Independence, famously ordering cannoneers to fire upon his own home occupied by British Commander Cornwallis. I finish with a pledge from all the signers of the Declaration. With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. God bless America, God bless North Carolina, and God bless Dare County. Happy New Year to everyone. May it be the finest year you've ever had. And I would also like to echo the condolences to the Otavios. They are also personal friends of mine, Matt and Andrew, and I certainly feel for them and the loss of their family, such a tragic loss at 43 years old. And also echo Mr. Burris' sentiments to Ryan Gibbs' family. I coached against him for years. I believe he was the only person in all of coaching who could match my frustration and excitement on the sideline. Anyway, God bless you all and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Creed. Bobby, I think you told me that the Vistas Bureau supported our position on the courts in Nags Head, and they voted to split that with us. Is that correct?
They did, and we're working on, there's an MOU that'll be on your February agenda that'll
Super.
approve that and get that going.
Super, fantastic. Good to know. You guys keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I referee in basketball once again this year. It's a pretty tough one with somebody my age, running up and down the court for 5 hours on a Saturday.
They
but,
keep those defibrillators handy, right?
I need all the help I can get. But,
all right, just make sure there's a nearby defibrillator station.
That's right. But I'm looking forward to it. The kids are a lot of fun to referee, and we've got an unbelievable number of kids in Dare County playing basketball this season. 600-700. It's really a lot of kids. So it's a lot of fun. So come out and watch. You'll have a good time. With that being said, I too would like to wish everybody a happy new year, and may this year be the best year you've ever had. And once again, thank you, board, for all your individual work on this board and working for this county. It's very much appreciated. With that being said, we need an adjournment until February the 2nd.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Vice Chair, second by Commissioner Burris. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.